Level 3 has begun. The Chicago Bulls are going to live to play another day. They're going to host the Miami Heat. They're up 127 to 106 right now with a little under 3 minutes remaining. So we're up to 233. I'm not going to hit the 251 tonight. I got a little greedy. I got to hit this 244.5, though. Well, no, I think I got a 238.5, don't I? Yeah. I got so many here. Dear God, I got a 248.5, a 238.5. And I had that over 222.5 as well. So I had the original. I tried to put $200 too, and I bet $2 on it. It's a very good thing that I caught that. And I caught that I put like I would be so mad. Imagine, Cam, if you win a bet for 200 and you see you bet two. I've done it once before. I did it once I put 5 instead of 500 once. I couldn't believe it after. I was like, oh my God. And the number wasn't as good after. So I noticed right after I did it, and I bet another 198 after. Instead of another 200, I went 198. I was like, all right, now I got 200.
I put $3 on a golf bet instead of 30, and the thing paid over 2. I got like no money back.
That's frustrating. You're like, you got $20 back instead of 200.
Yeah. At least it's one game. You do it at a golf tournament. I was raging for like a week. Yeah.
You got to be careful with that.
You do.
All right, Kurt. So I agree with you. I think the Leafs should win this series. I don't think the Leafs are going to the Stanley Cup Finals, but I also don't think they're going to lose in the first round. I think they'll beat the Bruins. I put a poll question up. I didn't check on it actually for both this series and the Jet series, and I'm starting to buy in. I'm probably going to regret this, but I'm taking the Winnipeg Jets to beat the Colorado Avalanche. Kurt, who are you taking in that series?
I think this is a 50-50 series. It's a coin flip here. I want to take the Jets. I don't really believe in the Avs here. But I think the Jets have to prove it to me. There's been so many years I've wanted to take this team, and Scheifele gets suspended or he gets hurt. They have 13 injuries in the first couple of games here, and they can't get anywhere here. I'm going to take the Avs in 7, but I'm not knocking anybody who takes the Jets here. I think it's going to be a great series here. It wouldn't shock if the Jets win.
Renzi, I might do the stupidest thing ever, but I'm going to tell you, I think every Canadian team wins their first round series. If not 3, they go 3-1.
I agree. I think the Leafs are going to win. I think the Jets are going to win.
Canucks.
I think the Canucks are going to beat the Predators.
And Oilers.
And then you got the Oilers. Who are the Oilers playing? We don't know yet.
I think Vegas, right? Are they lined up with Vegas right now?
We don't know. We won't know until tomorrow. That's the one thing we don't know, those last two.
Correct.
I think the Oilers, I don't think the Kings are all that, actually. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I don't think I'm not fearing the Kings as much. The Kings are kind of, the Kings are okay, but there's a ceiling to them. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out, but I could live with it, Cam. You know what? I think Edmonton will beat Vegas if they play them, and I think they would beat LA. So I think you're right. Will the Canadian team win the Stanley Cup? I just wish we were getting a little bit more better than plus 280.
Yeah,
let me check right now. That's what it is right now.
We need way more than that. 280. I'm not.
Agreed.
That's ridiculous. I think the Canadian teams win the series, then they'll get knocked out. But I like them early.
I'm sticking to my guns here. I'm looking here though. Conference winner. They don't have everything up right now because whatever. There's games going on. They got to reset everything. But I'm going to bet that a team from the West wins the Stanley Cup.
That's tough.
Remember, Kurtz, we talked about that, minus 120.
The problem is,
Dallas is the best team.
I think the West, the teams are so physical, they might beat the crap out of each other, and a team from the East will have a little bit of an advantage. That's the only reason I'm not making that bet, but the West is better.
Now, the teams, you don't think the Florida Panthers and the Lightning are going to beat the crap out of each other? That's going to be a bloodbath, that series. The Rangers and the Capitals, same thing. That's going to be like very, very everyone's going to go through the same thing. Which one will end quick, you think?
I think the Rangers demolished the Capitals.
Really?
In 5.
Do you realize the Capitals have been outscored in every period this season? Every period. And overtime, by the way. There's not one period they've outscored their opponent here. I think the Rangers, I'll give the Capitals one game.
What, in 82 games, the Capitals haven't won one period all year? What are you saying?
Total. They've been outscored in every period. First period, second period, third period, overtime. There's not one period they've outscored their opponents.
That can't be true. That sounds impossible. They've never had a lead.
He means on the season, though, not in the games. I know what you mean. On the season.
On the season.
You should clarify that a little bit better.
Yeah, sorry. Come on, George. Like, you got me spinning here.
That's going on the season. What am I going to say?
Hey, I get you. I got you.
My God, would you like Cliff Notes? I mean, write it out for you in little cards.
Canada, they're called Cole's Notes. But yes, Rangers in 5.
Yeah, I think that's being nice, by the way. This is the only series I think could be a sweep, would be the Rangers over the Capitals. I just think it's a wipeout.
Me too.
I'm going to take the I don't know if the Lightning are going to win, but I think it's going to be a real battle. I'll take the Lightning like plus 1.5. I'll plus 2.5 in those parlays, my series type deal. But hold on, we got to welcome the audience here. Let's roll. Level 3 has begun. This is SportsRage. I am Morency, the Crystal Plus, also some people in the bus club, and everybody else in between. Some of you are joining us right now, including the Money or 1090, the 50,000 watt juggernaut SoCal in the house, just as the Chicago Bulls in the Atlanta Hawks game has come to an end, literally and figuratively. It just ended right now. And you have to wonder, as Trae Young is doing the rounds right now, hugging everybody, that if this is his last game as a member of the Atlanta Hawks. There's a lot of talk about Trae Young going to the Detroit Pistons, that the Pistons are all in on him because the Pistons blow and they don't want to suck forever. And there's also a lot of talk, of course, Trae Young has been vocal about it, about wanting to play with Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs, which is going to be a trend you're going to see to develop over the next couple of years. The guys in the NBA are going to say, I want to play with that kid. The Chicago Bulls, 131. The Atlanta Hawks, 116. The game sails over the number. Meanwhile, we had an ugly first half tonight in the city of anything but brotherly love with the Philadelphia 76ers. And the Miami Heat, 105-104, which means Philadelphia get the Knicks on Saturday, and the Miami Heat will now play the Chicago Bulls on Friday night. Cam Stewart's with us. We're going to get his golf picks for the RBC Heritage. George Kurtz kicking it with us. George, we got about a minute here. We're less than a week where it's coming up right now. It's a week away, technically, on the East Coast from the National Football League draft. Have you started to put your bets in yet? Are you ready to go? I put like 4 in today.
I got 5.5 quarterbacks going, over 5.5 quarterbacks going in the first round. I think we'll get the 6 here. I think we're going to see a couple of trade-ins to get maybe a Bo Nix late to get that extra 5th year here. No running backs in the first round, maybe first 2 rounds there. Looking forward to the draft next Thursday. Should be a lot of fun. Cowboys trade down from 24, by the way. They have to accrue more picks here to try and replace some of their losses this year. Maybe at the end, maybe they trade with San Fran at 31.
I'll share some of my draft bets that I put in today, as we're going to start to attack this NFL draft, and this market is very fluid, man. The numbers are changing like every 10 minutes for everything. This is SportsRage.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
We talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Boy, if you passed him up as a Heisman Trophy winner and he lights the league on fire like C.J. Stroud over a Bryce Young, you might not make it as a head coach or in your regime here. I just don't think they can pass over Daniels at number 2.
He's sitting at 5.8 goals saved above average. He has been standing on top of his head for this team, but defense has to help him out a little bit. The Red Wings defense comes alive just a bit. I think that they're definitely going to punch their card.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
North Carolina come back, take the lead, and then somehow Alabama punches back. A true classic. Like, the word classic gets tossed around loosely a lot, but that really was a true classic.
Great point earlier about Arizona. They had such an advantage under the basket, yet they're having guys just chuck threes. Their whole game plan sucked from the get-go. Like, the fact that they lost that game, I put a lot of it on coaching.
SportsRage Late Night, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The Early Line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell, coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from three on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live, prime time.
We got not one, but two coaches fired systems in place.
SportsRage Late
Sort of
Night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Let's roll. The Wicked Wednesday continues. This is Sports Rage. I'm Morency. I put a poll question up on Twitter for 2 of the hockey playoff series. Who are you guys taking to win? This will get Cam fired up. Boston Bruins minus 125, Leafs plus 105. 66.7% of our voters are taking the big bad Boston Bruins to beat the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Go for it.
And as I've stated, my followers are usually wrong.
Good.
I'm dead serious. Like, no, it's almost like a stone cold lock. I hate to say it, but it's true.
Well,
whatever the consensus is, and when I do these polls, they're always wrong. And they don't vote for me. Like, people think, oh, whatever. Like, no. Everybody took Alabama against Michigan. People took Washington. Like, you guys are always wrong. So you all just hate the Leafs so much, I think. That's the thing. They're betting on a spike cam. They don't like the Leafs.
I'm
buying in because I don't like the Bruins.
Listen,
I would play for the Boston Bruins if I was good enough to be in the NHL. I respect their organization, but as a fan, I don't like them. Just point blank. And I don't dislike a lot of teams, but they're one of them. There's only a few teams in each league I don't like. They're one of them.
The Bruins have broken my heart. They've broken the hearts of Vancouver in that Stanley Cup final when they had those beautiful teams. All they do is kill the Leafs. I have a lot of respect for Boston. I'm just sick and tired of it. It's like the bully who steals your money every single lunch hour. I'm stepping up to the bully. I'm going to pull a Homer Simpson nice and dirty, sand and rocks in the face, cheap shots, whatever it takes. Leafs got to win this series. If they lose this series, I don't even know what to say, Morency. This is the last straw. People on this town, everyone thinks they're going to lose anyway. It's all negative, but that's fine. I like
everybody gets fired.
Yeah.
Shanahan gets fired. Their coach gets fired. Everybody gets fired if they lose in the first round, guaranteed. And I got another poll question up. Who's going to win, the Avs or the Jets? And this one's 50.4% of the people are saying the Jets. 49.6% are on the Avalanche. We'll bring Ian Cameron in. We'll get his takes on these series in a second. But the Bulls just won, but that's the good news. The bad news is Alex Caruso has suffered a significant right foot sprain, and his availability versus the Miami Heat on Friday night is now in serious doubt right now. This is unbelievable. Like, the Pelicans lose Zion Williamson in the last couple of minutes of the game, and now they got another game. They got to play without him. And Caruso was balling tonight. Let's bring in Ian Cameron. Unbelievable, Babano, that Caruso now hurt. They're going to play the Heat on Friday. They look good tonight, but Caruso is a big part of that team. How you doing, Babano?
Yeah, I'm doing good. That is a big part of their team. He's probably one of their best defenders. He might be their best defender.
He is their best defender, yeah.
Yeah, so
he's their only defender.
Well, he's the only one that can.
He's the only defender. Yes,
shots. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, he's the only one that's contest shots.
Nobody else plays defense.
Yeah,
nobody else plays D on that team
to begin with. That's true, but they're going to miss him for sure. To be honest with you, I don't think they're beating Miami anyway, with or without him. But certainly going to hurt their chances.
Miami Heat, 2.5-point favorites. Games in Miami too.
Yeah,
surprised they're not bigger favorites, to be honest.
I agree. Late line.
Kind of weird.
Yeah, I like Miami there. I think they could have and should have maybe even won tonight against Philadelphia. I thought they played good for 3.5 quarters and then Philly made that run. And I think Miami gets it done there. Like I said, Atlanta was out of sorts all year. The Hawks never really put quality basketball together for any extended stretch at any time this season. I think this is definitely going to be a step up now. And Chicago has to go on the road, obviously, for this one.
We just did it right here. We're not playing around.
Oh, there you go.
All right.
Showing the Bet365 ticket. Locked in.
250. 250 on the Miami Heat, minus 135. You know why I do this right now? We just said, but man, there's no way in hell, Babano, that on Friday night, the Miami Heat are going to be minus 135 favorites. I'm clicking the number right now, bro. It's going to go up. I say they close at 4.5.
Part of the reason you bet is not just to bet your opinion; it's to get the best number. And if you think the line's going to move, you lock it in now. Absolutely, prudent move.
Yeah. You play the numbers exactly. You're not. I was reading something last night. Actually, you play the teams, but the article was about that. That basically you're betting numbers. Dave Malinsky used to always tell me that. That was his line. He goes, "I don't bet teams." He goes, "I'm not betting on a team. I don't really bet on players. I bet on numbers."
Agreed.
Right? What he thinks the value is. Which I don't do. I will a bit. I'm just jumping because I know the number's going to move, but everyone has their own way. I'm a big X and O guy. A lot of people do. A lot of people go with trends, algorithms, numbers, value, etc. I go with, you know what? I watch these teams play, how they're going to match up against each other. I'm good with it with basketball. Some of the sports are more analytical than other ones, but I have a good feel. I told UConn. I knew they would win. I was on them last year. I'm just, you know what I mean? You can just you get a feel who's tougher, who's going to crumble. Some of the other sports are a little tougher to get a read on. But just quickly, so the Miami Heat are minus 2.5 right now, and I don't think that number is going to stay. And, of course, Zion is out on Friday night, too. And Sacramento are 1.5-point road favorites. It's interesting. Paul Bovey wasn't in love with this game earlier tonight. He's a great NBA capper, but he thinks there's an overreaction, Babano. He doesn't think the Pelicans are completely screwed because Zion's out. And I brought up the point. Zion's always out, right? So it's not like the Pelicans, we're not used to playing without him. They've played without him a lot over the years. You know what I'm saying? Yes, he's been playing really good, but I kind of agree with Paul. I don't think it's the end of the world for the Pelicans. They can still win this game without Zion. They're screwed in the series after, but I think they could win this game still. Sacramento is a better home team than they are a road team.
Yeah, this one's a tough one because you've got the situation with Zion, but it's not like they've not shown the ability to win without him in the past. And there is that element, too, Sacramento beating Golden State. Golden State was awful. Let's try not to give Sacramento all the credit for that game. Golden State was absolutely wretched for much of that game. Curry had an off night, 0 for 10. Pretty hard to be 0 for 10. I could be 0 for 10 in an NBA basketball game. I don't expect Klay Thompson to be 0 for 10, but he was in that loss to Sacramento the other night. So, Klay Thompson have an awful game, Curry off his game. The defense was bad. This is going to be tougher for Sacramento. I'm kind of with you. I don't love this game either way, but I'd bet Pelicans before I bet the Kings. Regardless, whoever wins this game, celebrate it, enjoy it, because you're going home after the first round.
I don't love it either, to be honest. You know what the thing was, guys, was Brandon Ingram was not good the other night. And, every game is different, but he's got to be the guy. When Zion, he's the guy. So when Zion's not there, and McCollum as well. McCollum been dropping 30-plus down the stretch, and he was terrible the other night. So McCollum and Ingram have to be better, but I think they will be. Right? Everything was running through Zion the other night. It was they couldn't get into a flow, those two. I think it will be, but they get Oklahoma City after. So 3-2 in the hockey game right now for the record. The last game in Arizona, how much time left? 7 minutes.
Yeah.
I'll tune in for the final minutes here to see the historic night that it is in Arizona.
I don't know if that's a good idea, Gabe. I told you about my season point total with Arizona. I no, please just let it be. Just come on, man.
I didn't bet on it.
Okay, well, no, that's what I'm saying. I got $500 on the Coyotes over 75.5 points. They're at 75. Like, I need no monkey business in this game. That was the bet.
Word of no
Start of
lie.
the year.
It feels like all of hockey betting Twitter is on Arizona tonight. Like it's amazing. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Sure.
it's the last ever game, right? It's one of those blind bets. People are like, well, it's their last ever game. I didn't bet it. I didn't bet against them, but I was like, whatever. I'm not taking them just because it's their last game. But they are winning 3-2.
They are.
It's
They
a good
haven't played
setup.
that great. You know what's funny? They haven't played that great tonight, Arizona. They really haven't.
No, but it's one of those good setups. Edmonton cannot improve their standing, right? Edmonton are just waiting to find out who they're going to play, so they've got nothing to play for. Your last ever game in a city, last game of the year. Bad teams usually play well in the last game of the year, too. You know, they feel like they owe the fans or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, 3-2 right now. We'll see if they're able to hang on. In-game total is 6.5. That's 1-1 with the Blues and the Stars.
They're in a shootout.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
We talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Boy, if you passed him up as a Heisman Trophy winner and he lights the league on fire like C.J. Stroud over a Bryce Young, you might not make it as a head coach or in your regime here. I just don't think they can pass over Daniels at number 2.
He's sitting at 5.8 goals, saved above average. He has been standing on top of his head for this team, but defense has to help him out a little bit. The Red Wings defense comes alive just a bit. I think that they're definitely going to punch their card.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
North Carolina come back, take the lead, and then somehow Alabama punches back. A true classic. Like, the word classic gets tossed around loosely a lot, but that really was a true classic.
Great point earlier about Arizona. They had such an advantage under the basket, yet they're having guys just chuck threes. Their whole game plan sucked from the get-go. Like, the fact that they lost that game, I put a lot of it on coaching.
SportsRage Late Night. Only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network. The Early Line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell Coast to Coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game Time Decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from 3 on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live. Prime time.
We got not one, but 2 coaches fired systems in place.
SportsRage Late
sort
Night.
of has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
This is SportsRage. I am Morency. The playoffs are here. So we take a night off of the play-in tomorrow night in the NBA. And then Friday night, we got 2 games. And then Saturday, it's a full slate of action. And now it's official. The Philadelphia 76ers will play the New York Knicks. So the schedule goes as this. 7 o'clock Eastern Friday night. The Bulls are in South Beach. We just pulled the trigger on the Miami Heat. Minus 135. Hasn't moved on the money line yet. Total 209.5. Sacramento are laying 1.5 on the road to the Pelicans. 9:30 Eastern Friday night, 6:30 Pacific. 125 money line total is 213.5. Saturday, 1 o'clock Eastern. Orlando and Cleveland get the glamour spot. 1 o'clock Eastern. Cleveland Cavaliers minus 4.5 points over the Orlando Magic. 3:30 Eastern Saturday. Great slate of basketball, man. Phoenix Suns are in Minneapolis to take on the T-Wolves. T-Wolves minus 120 on the money line. Basically,
Arizona.
Oh, there it is.
Arizona.
4-2 Coyotes.
Oh, thank you.
Gunther.
New York Knicks and the Philadelphia 76ers at 6 o'clock Eastern. The Knicks are 2.5-point favorites, minus 140. Saturday night, the Lakers and the Nuggets are the prime time game, 8:30 Eastern time. Nuggets lay 7 points to the Lakers. The total is 223.5, 8:30 Eastern time. Sunday is 12:30 LA time, 3:30 Eastern. The Mavericks are in LA as 1-point road favorites, total 223.5. And the Pacers and Bucks, Sunday night, 7:30 Eastern time. Pacers, 1-point road favorites, total 232.5. No Giannis as of now, and expected no Giannis for this basketball game. As far as the National Hockey League playoff schedule is concerned, not quite set in stone because they're idiots and they end their season on a Thursday night like a bunch of dumbasses. Then have to start the playoffs on the weekend. And you have a bunch of teams that still don't know where they're going to be playing, even though they're going to be playing in like 3 or 4 days. But whatever, we could talk about their stupidity over and over. As far as the schedule is concerned, coming up this weekend, we do know that the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Boston Bruins are Saturday night at 8 o'clock Eastern time. We have a poll question up. Who's going to win the series? It's overwhelmingly Boston that people are taking. George Kurtz, big hockey guy from the Grid, was with us earlier. He likes the Leafs. Cam Stewart is a Maple Leaf fan. He likes the Leafs. I'm a Boston Bruin hater, so I like the Leafs. Ian Cameron will be the neutral bystander party here.
He hates
the unbiased view. I don't think Babano hates the Leafs.
Yeah, he's a Sabres guy, but I love him for it because I got a lot of heart with the Sabres. I don't hate the Sabres are.
I don't view Babano as a diehard Sabre guy either. Babano is whoever is a fan. He's a fan of whoever he has money on. Yeah.
The person that made me a Sabre fan growing up, unfortunately, passed away the past calendar year. Rick Jenneret. That's who got me into the Sabres. I just loved his call on television. WUTV,
but like now, Babano?
Fox 29, Buffalo is the first time I saw Rick Jenneret in the 90s.
Do you get mad when the Sabres don't make the playoffs? Or like you upset? Like, do you get mad when they lose games?
No, I get mad when I lose my bets. Now when the Buffalo Sabres...
you're not a Sabres fan.
Yeah, good. Yeah. We didn't need a polygraph. You're right. That's cool.
No, that's the bar. Like I can always like you. That's like if you know you like a team or not. Are you mad when they lose for real? Like not like a bet. You're just mad
to them missing the playoffs.
I am going to say this though. I would love to see the Sabres get in the playoffs because they haven't made the damn playoffs in 14 years, and you want to give the people of Buffalo something to be happy about. The Bills lose, the Sabres lose. Enough. Like I want them to be successful at something. It's ridiculous. Their sports teams are a nightmare. God.
You don't have to tell me. I'm a Bills fan.
I know. I know. It sucks, Dave. It sucks. They need know what the worst is? If one city needed something positive too, it's Buffalo. Like some of these
lacrosse.
Well, whatever. Lacrosse.
The lacrosse team is good.
Yeah,
but
Buffalo Bandits. Yeah. It's the same old story here. They've choked too.
But this isn't about the Buffalo Sabres. They're not playing. They're out.
That's true. Yeah,
they didn't make it.
No,
okay. Who you taking, Babano? The Bruins or the Leafs? Who wins the series?
Everything tells me on the surface, Boston, because of history, pedigree, tradition, Everything is telling you, and 4-0 against Toronto in the regular season.
So you can tell
this
there's
year,
a butt coming up.
Bruins team.
They say, but he likes the Leafs.
But I truly think this Boston team down the stretch, I didn't like what I saw. I got to be honest. I didn't like what I saw. I didn't like their stop scoring. The goaltending not nearly as good. Their special teams a little bit dicey. I don't love the mindset of limping into the play. You can say that about Toronto too, but Toronto truly in a situation where the games did not mean a thing to them. Boston still could have won their division, and they somehow let it slip through their fingertips, including with a home loss to Ottawa. I think Toronto has learned from the scars of the past, at least to the point where now they've got some sandpaper. They
haven't learned anything. They got to win the series to learn. They haven't learned anything yet.
Well, they did last year. That was a step, Cam. They won the first round for the first time in 20 years last year, at least. And so that's a step in the right direction.
Who was it last year they beat?
Tampa. Yeah, Tampa Bay. They beat them last year, and then they lost.
And then they lost
Florida.
to Florida in 7. Yeah,
that's the thing. So is that success? I call that a mega failure again. You got to win more.
Empty netter, Arizona. 5-2 Coyotes.
I love Edmonton, Gabe. You should have taken the over.
It's funny that you were saying you're ripping the Leafs, Cam. Yep. You're ripping the Leafs for only winning the playoff series last night. Though you're like, Canadians play great the last 2 nights, but they lost. And it was funny because Scott, I was on with Pharrell today. And anytime Pharrell loses a bet, he thinks everyone sucks. But I was on with Pharrell, and he starts blaming me. He's like, "What's wrong with the Canadians, Morency? 2 nights in an effing row, they suck. They blow. Can't hang on to a lead." I said, I know. I bet on the Red Wings. I said, I told people. Told you they didn't play well.
Yeah, you got to tell Scott. That doesn't mean they just suck, period. They just suck
tonight. Let's just say that. But we can put this in parentheses. They're the best +1.5 team going, Gabe. That's one thing I know about Montreal. They lose in overtime or in heartbreaking fashion.
And bet the Montreal-Detroit games draw from here until it stops losing at this point. Every game goes to overtime with those 2 teams. Crazy.
All right, so the Islanders and the Hurricanes are at 5 o'clock Eastern on Saturday.
I actually answer it officially, guys. I do like Toronto.
Yeah, what's your pick?
I'm going to pick
seriously.
You took so long, we forgot. You can't just we moved on, bro. You got to
what's happening? What are we talking about?
That series to go 6 and 7. Sprinkle on both. It's plus money. If one of them hits, you're profitable. I like it. 6 or 7. Toronto, Boston.
I don't think it's a crazy idea. Like it'd be shocking if this is a sweep for either team. This has got 7 games written on. You know what though? It better not go 7. They're going to lose on the road.
You're damn right.
You're not beating Boston in 7 on the road.
7 games. You know the Leafs are going to find a way to lose. They got to win in 6.
Yeah, like the Leafs, if they don't win in 6, they're not. They could actually. Boston lost Game 7 to Florida last year.
Yeah, but the Leafs lose a lot of Game 7s.
That's true, yeah.
Jack Edwards is retiring, too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Send it quick. Give him 6 more games.
End it for him. All right, so Babano will blast through the series. And remember, we've got like 3.5 minutes for the break here, right? Yep. So we'll get right to it. Avalanche and Jets. Who do you like?
Oh, man.
Oh, here we go. You're wasting time already. Come on.
Yeah, I see it already. Right. 10 seconds.
Yeah. Just don't react. We like the Jets.
So we know what the matchups are. Like Cammy's acting like I'm asking him some random questions. Like
I feel like we got him in
who's winning the series.
Room and he's going to jail.
Colorado's got so much better in them, but I've seen enough that I'm concerned. And Georgiev, I don't trust. I don't trust Georgiev right now.
I agree.
I'm taking the Winnipeg Jets as well. All right. Cam said earlier, all 4 Canadian teams are going to win in the first round. Agree or disagree? I'm buying in that they will.
Toronto
beats Boston. Vancouver beats Nashville. We don't know who Edmonton's playing, but they're going to play. Edmonton's either play. Winnipeg plays Colorado. We all think the Jets are beating the Avs. We don't know. Edmonton is either playing the LA Kings or the Las Vegas Golden Knights. We'll find out tomorrow.
They beat both.
So that's what happens, right, guys? So they either play that, and the loser, whoever finishes below LA and Vegas, get the Dallas Stars, which is not an easy party, man, to get in the first round.
Nope.
Not at all. Nope. All right, I'll say yes. All 4 Canadian teams. I'm a little worried. I think Nashville gives Vancouver a really tough series, though. Really tough.
I can't disagree. I mean, we'll see if Vancouver can handle the playoff pressure. But you can say the same thing for Nashville, actually. Nashville are a pretty young team, too. They don't have a ton of dudes that have been around from the old days, right? Those playoff pushes. So young teams. It should be a fun series. I wouldn't be. You know what? If I have to predict now, we don't know the schedule and the odds, but we know they're playing. I'm going to say the Canucks in 6. Cam, what's your pick? I'm going to say Canucks beat the Predators in 6.
Canucks in 7. Predators are a good hockey team. It'll go to the distance. I find Vancouver will find a way with Demko standing on his head in Game 7. Canucks.
But Battle, I don't think it makes it to 7. Do you?
I'm going to go 7. Go the distance. This is a team that's still, as a group, in the playoffs for the first time. Nashville's as good as any team in the second half of the year. A goaltender in Saros that can steal games. One of the best top lines, no joke, guys. One of the best top lines in the NHL second half of the season. Philip Forsberg, Ryan O'Reilly, and Nyquist. They've been absolutely tremendous. So I think they really push Vancouver. Vancouver's got a battle. Not easy, but they survive a long, good, competitive series. 7 games, Vancouver.
Tampa and Florida. I think this is a real battle. I think Tampa are going to give them all they can handle. I'd like to take Tampa, but I think they might lose in 7 type of deal. I'm going to take Tampa on a series handicap.
Team for me. Panthers for me.
Panthers.
Islanders and Canes. The Islanders are plus 275 underdogs in this series. Even Kurt, the Islander fan, says Canes in 5.
Yours.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
We talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Boy, if you passed him up as a Heisman Trophy winner and he lights the league on fire like C.J. Stroud over a Bryce Young, you might not make it as a head coach or in your regime here. I just don't think they can pass over Daniels at number 2.
He's sitting at 5.8 goals saved above average. He has been standing on top of his head for this team, but defense has to help him out a little bit. The Red Wings defense comes alive just a bit. I think that they're definitely going to punch their card.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
North Carolina come back, take the lead, and then somehow Alabama punches back. A true classic. Like, the word classic gets tossed around loosely a lot, but that really was a true classic.
Great point earlier about Arizona. They had such an advantage under the basket, yet they're having guys just chuck threes. Their whole game plan sucked from the get-go. Like, the fact that they lost that game, I put a lot of it on coaching.
SportsRage Late Night, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The Early Line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell, coast to coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from 3 on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live, prime time.
We got not 1, but 2 coaches fired systems in place.
SportsRage Late
sort of
Night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Well, that's it. And it's always sad to see. I've been through this. I've been in the building before for last games of franchises, and I always feel bad. I said it before the game started. I said, people will always make fun of teams, this and that or whatnot, but there's always a 6-year-old kid, a 10-year-old kid, man, that loves this team, that loves these players, right? And you're seeing it here with their signs. You got a bunch of people crying right now. Even I'm like, you know what? I had never had a problem with them in Phoenix, in the area. It's you know what? The fans used to go when they were good, when they're in a real arena and stuff. The team has sucked forever. You've had bad ownership. It's just been so mismanaged. And the people, these Coyote fans, they're the ones that get their heart broken on the way out. And now this team's going to move to Salt Lake City and be really good. And it's really just going to be even worse for people. And then Bettman will take credit for it. Oh, you see what a success Salt Lake is.
I know. You wrote the book already.
That's what'll happen. They'll be like, they recognized
exactly.
It wasn't work. They're already crediting them.
Yeah.
I see all the same hockey guys, Chris Johnson and Dreger and Pierre LeBrun. I like these. I like Pierre too. Nice guy. But I'm saying they're all all sort of in defense mode. Well, the NHL identified and made the right move. I'll give credit. I don't know if you saw it, Beto. Jay Onright got into Craig Button. They normally don't argue or debate on those shows. Craig Button went down that road too about how Gary Bettman deserves credit and tried in Arizona and stuff. Jay Onright deserves credit. He goes, it's been a train wreck for 20 years. Onright went off, and
I like that.
Button was sort of startled, right? Everyone else defended the NHL, and Onright was on his own. You realize that these guys all want to keep their good standing.
Yeah,
they want to keep their good standing. Jay Onright's I don't care. I'm just an anchor anyways. What are you going to do to me?
Gary's not coming to my show.
Older lady with tears in her eyes. It is kind of sad.
Look at this lady. It's sad.
I can't watch this. I'm getting emotional for the Coyotes now. Losing a team sucks. No matter what, you're right. This is not right.
No.
This is actually sad.
And this is for the players too. They're not robots. So you see the players don't want to leave the ice. They're all standing at center ice here. They got a hot girl flying a flag around. I'm getting sad. I'm almost tearing up, and I'm not even a Coyote fan.
Me too. What happened to our team?
It's like, and I'm telling you, I've been there with the Expos. You see it. There's no next year. You realize wow, this is it.
Wow, their flag girl's really hot.
No, this is when it sinks in.
Who forgot the banner? Who forgot the banner? Shane Doan had they had to go to the Gila Monster other place game to bring the banner in. Who's the banner
guy? It's their Bush League organization, bro. It's not the players or the fans' fault. That's the thing. It's the organization that is Bush League. It's not the fans' fault.
Did you bring the Shane Doan banner? Oh, I'm drunk. Oh, man, I forgot. I got to go back to the other arena.
You guys see this ratty kid? He looks like he's 12 years old.
He does.
Oh, look at this kid. Look at this kid.
He looks like a 60s kid with that hairdo. Yeah.
Oh, Ratty's awesome. He's like my little kid. Yeah, Ratty. He's little ginger.
There's no way in hell this kid gets served in bars. It'd be like this.
You're right. That guy looks you're not honest to God, I'd guess the age 14. He looks young. Oh my God.
I'm sure he shows up to the players' entrance and security's like, listen, kid, you're not fooling us. You're a kid, you're not getting in.
Have you seen this kid Genther's hairdo? It looks like he's got like a raccoon on the side of it.
I know.
Wow, those are some wild 3 stars right
Thick
there.
lettuce right there. Yeah.
that was nuts. Amazing.
All right, so the Vancouver Canucks. We'll get some basketball picks in here. We'll get Cam's full golf picks here too. Actually, for the RBC Heritage. Yeah. But so they're playing the Predators. We know they're going to be playing the Predators. We don't know when they're starting yet. Still, I'm looking right here right now. Still nothing. I think it's going to be Sunday, though. What's this? We've released a very new and unlimited inventory of premium playoff tickets that include unlimited food. How about unlimited booze? That's more of a sales point for me.
Keep talking. Yeah. I don't care about 9 burgers.
How many popcorn and hot dogs can you eat? This unlimited thing. You know what I mean?
Great call, Morency. That's where I got fleeced in the New York, New Jersey game. Alcohol prices. 2 double vodkas. $72 or whatever. No, it was insane. I had a tall boy and a double vodka. It was $62 US. I almost had a heart attack. And you know the way my girlfriend drinks, Gabe. I'm like, slow down, honey. We got to be smarter next time. Train drinks.
Okay, here it is. What do you think of this, Kim?
Yeah.
$600. So this is $600. $600. Okay. You're in level 400, so you're not close.
Uh-huh.
But but you're in sort of it's basically a poor man's luxury suite. You're sharing it with other people. You're in a luxury suite, but you're sharing it with other people.
Tell me what I get. Tell me what
Level
I get.
400 seating, an elevated experience. Your ticket guarantees arena seating for a view of the ice, as well as access and dine of a premium buffet featuring our millionaire menu. Food and beverage ensures that you level your seat, ensures you won't miss any action of the game, even as you get your food. We boast a full cash service bar that's conveniently steps away from your seat. That's a good selling point.
I like cash.
A few fan favorites off the millionaire menu. Okay. Platters of traditional Japanese oshi, maki, and Nigiri sushi. Yeah. I don't eat sushi. You guys ever heard of that sushi?
Yes, I do. I actually love sushi, but continue.
Oh, this is for you, Cam. You're going to like this. A carved AAA roasted prime rib station.
I've already got the horseradish out and ready to go. Next.
They're already into amongst other favorites. I need to hear more information before you get my $600.
Where's the asterisk and where's the drinks? If it's unlimited drinks for $600, that's the deal of the century.
No, that's why they said specifically there's a full-service cash bar conveniently to your steps.
I don't like this deal one bit. If you got to give, no, what Gabe would be free at least 5 drink tickets for $600. Just give me 5, not 10, not unlimited, 5 drinks.
Okay, so but get the gist of it is though the ticket is about $400 to begin with to get into the building. So you're basically paying $200. It is all you can eat.
I do like that.
Right? Mm-hmm. And I imagine other favorites is probably like traditional arena fare, pizza, wings. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? The traditional. They have the nicer, the sushi and the prime rib. I like the fact that my drink is a couple of seats. So I'm going to consider this actually.
It's a great deal.
I like the fact that I don't like to get up and walk around. I miss half these games half the time when I go to these games. I'm in line getting drinks all the time.
I agree.
I need some quick service around me.
I got one. Add a couple hundred, the $800 package with booze. Then you got me. Like I'm all in.
That's what it was, bro. And I got screwed over. It was when the pandemic hit. The first round of the NCAA tournament was at MSG, and I got the package. It was $800, but you got all-day basketball at MSG, courtside seats.
You should.
$800, all you can eat and all you can drink booze.
Sold.
That's really good.
And a meet and greet with an NCAA legend, and you take a picture with the trophy and stuff. Like the trophy's there, like in the hallway VIP, a quick trophy, picture with Grant Hill or something.
Amazing.
I was going to do it. I was going. And then the pandemic hit. I had to get refunded. Like I got screwed over. I was all excited. I was going to get lit up, like really lit all day at MSG. I was going to test how much they were going to give me.
Yeah.
It was 4 games, too. I remember thinking, there's no way in hell I last 4 games with all you can drink. Like, after the second game, I would have left. I would have been smart enough. I would have fallen on the court or something.
That's why you got to have the food, too. It's the cushion that absorbs the alcohol. You just keep on rolling, buddy. Just keep on rolling.
The Knicks all-you-can-eat stuff was pretty good. I had it before down there. I was stuffing. I was pulling like the George Costanza and the Cam Stewart Babano. I was stuffing my pockets with stuff. I ate so much I was sick, right? I was like, well, I better take advantage of this. And basically they have like all the concession stands, but you don't have to pay. So you just go up. You can tip them. But you just go up and just order whatever the hell you want. But they had like stuff in bowls everywhere. Mm-hmm. Like it was near Halloween time. So like I had like pockets like full of chocolate bars, like you name it. I was like, I hit the ice cream bar hard. I tipped the guy like $10. I said, don't play around, buddy. Give me like a lot.
I like this.
I had like a basketball thing full of ice cream.
I'm not proud of this. Lisa had access to the Air Canada lounge. I basically used it as a grocery store. All my mix, or cranberries, soda for the vodkas, everything. I had like a bag.
Now you're just getting into theft.
You rifled through the whole thing.
No. All you pay for the lounge, and then I'm walking out, Gabe, bags of cookies, treats, whatever. I'm like, wow, I did well. She's like, excellent work, Cam. She did it too. My girlfriend's a grifter, man. She's worse than me. He'll take anything that's not nailed down, Winona Ryder style. Anyway, I shouldn't say that on the air, but if you know how expensive it is to get that lounge? They got booze and stuff there, man. You're damn right I'm walking out with Mick.
Yep.
What's your what are your golf picks?
It's like my relatives at a funeral. Yeah. One time, relatives years ago at a funeral, they saw there was a food after the funeral, the lunch after the wake, and they're taking leftovers home and they're stashing it in this big purse and these big bags, leftover food.
I have no problem with that. Let's hit the golf tournament
from a funeral.
Yeah,
that's like the lowest, most despicable thing ever.
I draw the line at a funeral. I was going on a flight.
Direct family.
Actually, that's pathetic, Ian. I'm with Gabe on this one. I didn't hear funeral, and now I'm sick. MCI Heritage, let's go. This is a great tournament. We're going to have a lot of winners. Hopefully, guys in the top 10 and 20. Guys, Frank Font, Graphic, we ready to go? Thank you. Let's roll it up. Good work there, Gary Graphic. We're going to start things off with Tommy Fleetwood, play great at the Masters. He hits it straight and is on in really good form. I think he can win this tournament 22-1. Wyndham Clark, this guy's a flyer. I know Brady Cannon didn't like him, but I like him at 32-1. Corey Connors, a great history. Where does he play well? Harbor Town in Texas, 55-1. Brian Harmon, that's my Georgia Bulldog. Brady had 3, I got 1. JT Poston, right, Babano, your guy. Wait a minute, Mr. Poston, 66-1 in fine form. Love all these guys for top 10, 20 bets. It's going to pay a fortune. And a big hoagie sandwich that Babano's family stole at a funeral at 90-1. I think he's 100-1 in some places, stealing hoagie. Top 10 picks. Xander Schauffele got it done last week.
Funeral food.
I know, this guy's unbelievable. Plus 110 for Xander Schauffele, top 10, 8th at the Masters. And Patrick Cantlay, Gabe, actually I found a better number. Plus 160, always plays well at this tournament, was second last year. Let's roll in the top 20s. Captain Kirk, another Georgia Bulldog. This guy hits it straighter than an arrow. He should have been in archery. Christian Bezoutenhout. He doesn't win, but he loves top 10s and 20s, plus 150. Now let's go to my bombs. I got a couple for you. Jake, afternoon nap. I started to see some form back at the Masters. These are top 30 picks. And Gabe, who's the guy from CSI? Is it Gil Hodges? Anyway, I got Lee Hodges at plus 140. Yeah, Gil Hodges.
No, Gil Hodges was the baseball player, but I think they're both, yeah.
Yeah, Hodges.
I never caught on.
See, Babano, how quick I can do my golf.
I actually watched the new CSI with the new cast. Not bad.
It's all right. Yeah, it's all right. It's not my. I watch it too. It's not my favorite, but I watch it. Yeah.
The girl with the red hair is back.
Yeah, she's fine. Yeah, I'm a fan.
Mary something.
Steenberger. No,
the Phoenix.
Yeah.
The Phoenix, Mary Hairburger or something like that. The Phoenix. I don't know, close, something like that. Mary Steenbergen?
That's Ken Dance's wife, Steinberger. I don't know what I'm talking about.
But you see, the Coyote players are giving away their stuff to the fans. It's pretty cool. Like, they're giving jerseys and hat, like their helmets and their sticks. They're taking everything off.
Elliott. At the puck dropping, the governor's meeting, getting all serious. It's like, enjoy the moment, everybody. Oh, man.
You see the player.
Girl holding up a sign, I will miss you, O'Brien. I guess that Liam O'Brien, her favorite player there. Yeah.
This poor girl's balling right now. You got the little girl. She's taking it well. But one of the players just gave a stick to this girl. Some dude's like trying to take the stick from her.
That's not cool.
He's behind her, reaching over. It's like, buddy, between you and her, who do you think the player was giving a stick to, buddy? It's like, what do you think it was for you? That's like an Eric Cohen move.
No.
Cohen reaching over. Thanks for the stick. And Babano's buddy to the funeral. Yeah, they'd be on that stick. Give me the stick. Give me the stick.
Bottom, Babano. That's brutal.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
We talked about the Ohtani story. This interpreter, Ipe, clearly was a problem gambler. I mean, he would be identified as that and beyond. Now, there are a lot of others that are out there.
The timing didn't seem great. It seemed slightly tone deaf in terms of, maybe now isn't the time to say it. But the sentiment itself, you have to agree with. There's only so much a sports betting company can do, right?
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
boy, if you passed him up as a Heisman Trophy winner and he lights the league on fire like C.J. Stroud over a Bryce Young, you might not make it as a head coach or in your regime here. I just don't think they can pass over Daniels at number 2.
He's sitting at 5.8 goals saved above average. He has been standing on top of his head for this team, but defense has to help him out a little bit. The Red Wings defense comes alive just a bit. I think that they're definitely going to punch their card.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
North Carolina come back, take the lead, and then somehow Alabama punches back. A true classic. Like, the word classic gets tossed around loosely a lot, but that really was a true classic.
Great point earlier about Arizona. They had such an advantage under the basket, yet they're having guys just chuck threes. Their whole game plan sucked from the get-go. Like, the fact that they lost that game, I put a lot of it on coaching.
SportsRage Late Night, only on SportsGrid. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. The Early Line.
Magical and historic season in Lincoln, Nebraska continues.
He is the best player in the NBA, but also in the biggest moments where the national media is watching.
Newswire.
Something that we have never seen happen before with one of the iconic coaches in the game.
Pharrell Coast to Coast.
The team covers. It's automatic. It's every time. Not sometimes. It's every time.
Game time decisions.
Luka is actually far more dangerous from 3 on the road this year than at home.
This game here tonight, you may want to consider taking as many points as humanly possible.
In-game live. Prime time.
We got not one, but 2 coaches fired systems in place.
SportsRage
This
Late
sort of
Night.
has letdown written all over it. It's going to be hard to match the emotion that they played with the other night.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, we have another start time right now. The Vancouver Canucks and the Nashville Predators will be playing Sunday night at 10 o'clock Eastern time. So late night East Coast action for you guys on Sunday night, 7 o'clock local Vancouver time, Predators and Canucks. And tomorrow we're going to find out about the Dallas Stars, the LA Kings, the Edmonton Oilers, and the Vegas Golden Knights, how all that's going to play out. It's a quick turnaround for them, but they'll be playing Sunday too. It's just, the NHLPA, it's not just Bettman. The NHLPA are stupid, like how they allow this stuff to happen, but it is what it is. Our boy Ghoster, we see a Ghoster. Our boy's got, he's got Young, Henley, Connors, Harmon, McCarthy, Bezhoutenhout, Cole, and Eric Cole. That's my one pick. I'm going to give one pick for this stuff. I'm going with Denny McCarthy to win, and Denny McCarthy top 20 as well.
Goldster's picks. So he's some of my guys, some of your guys. I think that is a very strong batch of players. Gabe, I'm going to tell you something from the golfing perspective. The MCI Heritage Tournament is one that plays the same often. It's probably the best tournament to bet because other tournaments are so unpredictable. It's the same guys around the leaderboard every year because you got to hit it straight. You have to have pinpoint accuracy. And if your putter's hot, little greens, as Brady talked about, it's a small track. Beautiful, though.
I want to get to the UFL, Babano, but we ran out of time with all this playoff talk here. Yeah. UFL rolling along. We're now 11-4-1 on the season. Anything catch your eye this week? Have you taken a look yet?
Yeah, it was a very good week again. And the over was my best bet with St. Louis, San Antonio, so that was good. As of right now in the UFL, there's a couple that are interested for me right now. I'm going to take.
You're already taking too long.
Exactly. You guys got to say I like Memphis showboats or this and that. Like, come on, man. Tick, tick, tick,
Memphis
tick, tick.
+7, and I'm taking Michigan with now Garber's out for San Antonio. That's a big loss at quarterback. I like Memphis +7, Michigan in a pick'em against San Antonio.
Nice.
I do agree with the Memphis showboats. I think the Battlehawks are a little overrated. There's going to be some points put up on the board in that game as well. Other than that, you're on your own later.